Hello and welcome to a first look at my yet untitled hotel management simulation game. My name is Chad, and the purpose of this video is to explain some of the mechanics of this game. Before I do that, I'm going to hire some employees to get things going while I give some background. We'll hire 3 front desk employees, 2 housekeepers, 2 maintenance, and 1 laundry. While the first of our employees drives to work, let me tell you about it myself. Why I set out to make this type of game. First off, I love simulation games. The first one I remember playing was Roller Coaster Tycoon on PC. You'll see a couple of mechanics in this game borrowed from that one. I got a BS in game design and development, and have been dabbling for many years. During those years, I spent some time as operations supervisor for a hotel. I won't mention the franchise, but the select brand was the inspiration for the layout of the hotel you see here. Since then, I've been trying to find a game that simulates managing a hotel in any meaningful way. There are a lot out there, but their focus is quite different than mine. To get started, I had to consider what it was that made me dislike them. I've got a few examples of tycoon and management game mechanics that I dislike, hotel related and otherwise. First off, employees that work 24/7. They never go home, or they never take breaks. That's not very realistic. They need to go home, have days off, ask for PTO, call in sick. Number 2, employees that are a one-time cost to hire, or only cost a small amount to keep employed. Nearly every service business, including hospitality, the number one expense is going to be employee wages. Number 3, building or adding to buildings instantly and or cheaply. Now, once you build a building in real life, adding to it is such a challenge, both physically and financially, that it's just not done. Number 4, absurd climbing costs. This one is more prevalent in mobile games. Picture a hotel game. You can open your first room for free, the next one costs $1,000, the next costs $10,000, then $100,000, then $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, and so on. Not true to real life at all. Number 5, and concerning hotel games in specific, they seem to be more about decorating or style than the logistics and economy. Not really interesting to me. I set out to make this game avoiding those pitfalls, and perhaps use what I've experienced in real life as an outline for some mechanics that other games might not have. For example, if you look at the UI, you will notice there is no money pool sitting in the corner. This is on purpose. When you are a manager of any company, and not the owner, you don't spend your own money. And you don't spend it willy-nilly. The money you do spend comes out of a budget. In this game, you will have to maximize your budgets to make it through every month. Undercut your budget too much, then maybe your budget gets lowered next year. Overshoot, and your performance in the eyes of the owners will suffer. Returning to our employees below, we can see that our front desk person is stationed and waiting. Our housekeepers and laundry employees are waiting in the break room for something to do, and our maintenance employees are unloading freight from the delivery pallets to their proper storage rooms. When they are done, they too will return to the break room, waiting for something to do. Time for a bit of exposition. In time, there will be a proper intro to this game, but for now, you'll have to settle for my explanation. You are a recent hospitality graduate, applying for a supervisory role at a recently reopened hotel. This hotel served as a triage site during a pandemic that was recently subsided. As your interview draws to a close, you are surprise offered a general manager position. The owners are eager to open quickly, and they need someone to start immediately. You are left with some supplies to get started and told to open the hotel gradually as you hire and train employees to get up to full operation speeds. Exactly 1,000 rooms, 10 floors of 100 rooms, a total of 400 king rooms, 400 double queen rooms, and 200 king suites. You are warned at the start that being GM of this hotel will have its challenges. not just from the ground, but from above as well. You will have to balance the whims and demands of both the owners and the franchise. Keep them both happy, as both have the power to fire you. The owners want to make money and spend as little as possible. The franchise wants to maximize public image and maintain a consistent experience throughout their hotels. Open all rooms and amenities and stay employed to retirement, and you win the game. All 1,000 rooms and amenities are currently out of order and locked. You will have to unlock them and instruct your employees to bring them to working order. Per the owner's orders, once a room or amenity is unlocked, you are not allowed to lock it again. So take it slow opening things up, or you might quickly find yourself in over your head. Firstly, all the triage, medical furniture, as well as the old, likely contaminated furniture needs to be removed and replaced. To do this, simply click on a room, bringing up the room menu. Then, click on the orange button. This will let the maintenance employees know that the room is now unlocked but out of order. They will come and do a deep clean along with refreshing the furniture. I will queue a few up now for them to work on. The game will only let me queue as many rooms as I have supplies to process them. While we wait, let's take a look at the employees' schedules. You can cycle through the departments using the menu below. New employees are scheduled Monday through Friday by default, but you can easily change that here. Housekeeping, laundry, and maintenance all have a set shift time of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., but other positions have differing shifts. Front desk, for example, they need coverage at all hours, so there are 3 shifts that they can work. First shift is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., second shift is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., third shift is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. They are only allowed to work 1 shift per day, and they cannot work back-to-back shifts. The system will not let you. It will also warn you if you are scheduling someone with overtime. You are free to do this now, but later on in development, there will be consequences for doing so. Currently, none of the employees have an hourly wage. For the purposes of this pre-alpha, ordering is done on the first of the year, but different departments will need to be ordered on their designated days of the week. When there is an order to be made, it will show up on the left side of the screen. Click the alert, and an order screen for that department will show up. Each department has either 5 or 10 items devoted to them. From the left to the right, we have the item icon, the item name, the current quantity on hand, the cost per case, and lastly, the number of items per case. Between the add and subtract buttons is the number of cases that you are placing an order for. As you move to the bottom, you will see that you do indeed have to pay 8% sales tax on eligible items, as well as a delivery charge. You can pay the default $49 for a standard 28-hour delivery, $249 for a 14-hour delivery, or $649 for a 4-hour delivery. In the bottom left, you'll see your monthly budget. This is yet unimplemented, so nothing to worry about for now. Increase the case quantities as you see fit, and hold Shift to increase or decrease by 10. At the top right, you have the option to skip this order, if you wish, and at the bottom right, you can submit the order. Repeat for all order alerts before the time runs out. If the time does run out, you missed your chance. You'll have to wait until next ordering day. Now that our maintenance workers have finished with some rooms, we can move on to the next phase. This is where we tell housekeepers to do their initial clean. This will replace all the linen and stock up the amenities. Opening up the room cannot be undone, as it adds this room type to the number of rooms available for guests to reserve. To give the go-ahead, we click on the room again. Then click the green button. Again, we need to have enough supplies to clean a room, so we'll need to be sure to keep an eye on our quantities. The clean and replenish takes much less time than the deep clean, but much more time than a general clean. While they are cleaning, we can see that the first bunch of dirty linen has made its way to the laundry room, where our laundry employees will clean dirty linen 20 at a time. The more laundry associates in the laundry room, the faster the laundry can be done. Once they've completed with the clean, we will see the numbers on the top of the screen update. In order to understand reservations as they are currently created, I can really only explain it through the meta of how I scripted it. Every 15 minutes, a reservation is generated. The guest is looking to see if we have any available rooms that follow their 3 initial needs. room type, check-in date, and number of nights. If a room is available for them, they will do one more check before booking the reservation. If you look to the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you will see where we set the room rates. Currently pricing our rooms at or below market value has no effect, but pricing higher will have the guest consider booking somewhere else. Currently, for every $10 over market price, there is a 20% chance the guest will look elsewhere. You do have that little toggle if you want the prices to match the market. Since you currently have no way of checking the market in the game, I recommend ticking in that little box in case it changes on you. If the guest continues their booking, their last name and additional guests will be generated. Each guest has 10 needs that are ranked in order of how important they are to the guest. Every guest's order of importance will be different. These 10 needs are sleep, bladder, hygiene, food, drink, fun, relaxation, fitness, accommodation, and luxury. We'll talk about these more later. Each guest will have the distinction of being either an adult or a child. All characters are genderless. The last thing the guests generate is their reason for their visit. This can be a range of things, but currently doesn't have a use in the game. Check-in begins at 4 p.m. and ends at midnight. Guests will spawn from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Over that span of 6 hours, the number of guests is exactly divided. For example, if there are 36 reservations, they will arrive every 10 minutes or so that they all spawn during the allotted time. Anyone not checked in by midnight will have their reservation cancelled, and they will not be checked in. Currently, the only way for this to happen is if there are a lot of check-ins and there is a bottleneck at the front desk. As they are generated, it is actually their car that gets generated first. From a pool of 8 cars and a random color, they make their way to the front of the hotel and pick a parking space. At that moment, the guest's body is generated from 10 eye colors, 10 skin colors, 2 hairstyles with a chance to be bald, 10 hair colors, 20 shirt colors, and 10 pants colors. They line up in whatever check-in line is open and are assigned a room. They go back to their car and drive to the parking garage, where the car parks. It generates the body of the other members of their party, and the car queues itself for deletion. All guests go to their room. When the guest reaches their room, they send a request to the decision manager, which will weigh their highest ranked needs against their lower ranked ones to determine what they need the most. It is yet unimplemented, but at this point the guest will attempt to fulfill their needs in the hotel. Go to bed if they need sleep. Go to the restaurant if they are hungry. Go to the gym if they need to exercise. If the hotel can't fulfill this need, they will drive off-site to complete it. It is advantageous to keep the guest in the hotel, spending money, as you can't make any money off of the things they do outside of the hotel. They will also be more likely to give positive reviews for being able to fulfill their needs in the hotel without having to leave. Again, this is still unimplemented. Currently, the guest will just stand in their room until it is time to depart. Similar to the check-in process, all departures are spread evenly from early morning to the end of checkout time, 5 a.m. to noon. They will return to the parking garage with their family and generate a new car. Then they drive off, their stay complete. In the future, there will be a chance they leave a review that will in turn reflect on your performance with the franchise. From here, the rooms are dirty and in need of cleaning. Housekeeping will clean the rooms as needed, as long as the supplies are there to clean. That about does it for the current game mechanics, but next I should talk about the controls. I try to keep it pretty intuitive, but there are a couple things that should be made note of. The camera can be zoomed in and out scrolling with the mouse wheel. Panning can be done with the WASD keys, the right mouse button, or by bumping your cursor against any of the 4 sides. Lastly, you can rotate the camera by pressing the middle mouse wheel. Floors can be cycled through by holding the Shift key and scrolling with the mouse wheel. You can also navigate to particular floors, pressing the numbers on your number pad, 1 for the first floor, 2 for the second floor, etc., to 0 getting you to the 10th floor. The simulation runs at 2 real-life seconds to 1 in-game minute. Pressing the 2 key will double the speed, 3 quadruples the speed, 4 multiplies by 16, and 5 multiplies by 32. For the purpose of testing, higher speeds are implemented, but not intended to be part of the normal gameplay. As it is, the 6, 7, and 8 keys will multiply the speeds by 64, 128, and 256 respectively. It should be noted that all modes of movement break down after 32 times speed, as well as the queuing of check-outs and check-ins. Running the game above times 32 will crash the game sooner or later. In addition, again for testing purposes only, the tilde key will pause the game. There will be no pause option in the future versions of the game. There are 2 more subjects I want to look at before I bring this video to a close. We're going to take a tour around the building, and I will mention and explain the blocked out amenities. Most of these are going to need an inventory and a staff, and be another cog in your machine to crank money out of your guests. They should be pretty lightweight computationally, and mostly be a guest go in, number go up type of location. On the ground floor, we have the restaurant kitchen, bar, and restaurant, where guests can get breakfast, lunch, or dinner. On the other side of the front desks is an upgradable store. It will start with simple necessity items like snacks and sunblock, and expand to more exotic things like souvenirs. In the courtyard, we have pools 1, 2, and 3, a courtyard bar, a hot tub, a fire pit, and a stage. Booking performers from time to time will be part of the game and is likely to draw more guests to your hotel. On the second floor, we have a gym where guests can exercise, a spa where they can relax and be pampered, a vending area where guests can get cheap snacks and drinks at all hours, and a coffee shop where guests can get coffee-related drinks at all hours. On the third floor, we have a casino where adult guests can play slots and possibly some other games, as well as an arcade where children and adult guests can play non-gambling games. On the fourth floor, we have a restaurant location number 2. This will likely be a more pricey restaurant with limited capacity. The lounge will be where people can do whatever they like, a public place to hang out or read. The business center will be home to resources like computers and printers for guests to use if they have need of it. Floors 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all conference rooms. In the future, once you make your way up to unlocking this floor, you will be able to facilitate events. Likely limited to business meetings, but I would like to have a convention or 2 down the line. There is no roof yet, but if I feel more is needed at this hotel, I'm thinking a mini golf course or a rooftop dance club. Alright, the last thing I want to mention before we wrap up, there are 10 offices in this building. One of them is yours as the general manager, but as you unlock more rooms, you're going to need managers to make some tasks easier, and this will provide buffs that will make your employees more efficient. Some of these might seem odd, but once implemented, my reasoning will be made clear. All of these offices will be split, 1 part office, 1 part staff meeting room. The first floor, the general manager's office, your office. Second floor, the assistant manager's office. Third floor, the operations manager's office. Fourth floor, the maintenance manager's office. Fifth floor, the events manager's office. Sixth floor, the housekeeping supervisor's office. Seventh floor, the kitchen supervisor's office. Eighth floor, the bar supervisor's office. Ninth floor, the Chamber of Commerce representative's office. And the 10th floor is the market manager's office. That does it for this first look into my yet untitled hotel management simulation game. If you made it this far in the video and haven't checked the game out yet, you can play for free at searchet.itch.io/hotel. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.